What up? It's your boy Northernlion, and we're playing some Slay the Spire on youtube.com/cardlord. We won last time, and that's really cool. This time, we will win again, I hope, as the Silent 66 maximum HP and a start of 59. That's pretty nasty. What did we win with as the Silent last time? Wasn't it like a, you know what, it was a Shiv deck, but we got an early Dead Branch. That was how that went down, I think. Let's see what we can get here. Okay. Useless to great. Probably not worth it, I think, because our HP is already in a dangerous spot. And this is, ranges from terrible to game winning. I'm going to go for the lowest risk, highest potential yield. We got Juzu Bracelet. Well, it's actually, I think on an Ascension run, you have to consider that Juzu Bracelet, where you don't actually encounter enemies any longer. Hold on, let me think about this for a second. Okay, hit you with that. That way you're killable in one hit. You need to take 18 damage, you need to take 12. Could kill you, but instead what we're going to do is this and this. Sometimes we fight an elite and then we have like 6 HP left. And then the only way for us to live long enough to get to a campfire is to not encounter enemies on question mark rooms. So hopefully that ends up being useful for us. Crippling Cloud and Backflip are both good here, but I think we'll go Backflip. And Prepared is great, I think, if you upgrade it at least. By default, maybe not so amazing, but... yeah, I guess the added benefit here is that the less you fight enemies on question marks, the more you are going to come across potentially... they could be bad, but most question marks at least give you a choice of getting something good. This guy's going to be a pain in the butt. With our deck, the real problem, as I see it, as the Silent early on... the Silent, I think, starts as the weakest character, and I don't think that that's really too controversial to say, but my character power rankings have definitely shifted around. Like, I'm way more into the Ironclad than I have been over the past couple of months, mostly because of the fact that I'm winning now. I'm very biased in that way. I think I'll take Blur. If I'm good with a character, or doing well with a character, might be a better way to describe it, I think I'm more likely to enjoy playing as them. Please stop giving me the opportunity to add curses to my deck. I'm very weak-willed and alarmingly tempted to take you up on that offer. So what do we have going for us so far? Well, again, Juzu Bracelet. It's something. Don't know how useful I would consider it necessary. Oh, we didn't need to play both of these, but Juzu Bracelet, it's literally not worth nothing. Apart from that, we have Blur, which basically, especially in our thin deck, is more of like an occasional kind of surplus block generator for us. Like, we're not gonna get to the point where we're rolling over 35 block or anything like that, but we are at least, sometimes we'll roll over 2, sometimes we'll roll over 3. The whole point there is that maybe that'll let us play an extra attack without taking damage. Out of these, I'm gonna go Dagger Throw just to really give us some kind of offense. This is a dangerous path, my man. Well, like, if you look at it, I would like to go here and upgrade. Then we go a long way before we see any respite, but I still think you have to go for it. I think I'm gonna make Blur slightly better, which is not possible. Damon Albarn and the rest of the boys from Manchester did a fantastic job bringing that kind of style to the mainstream. But anyway, here we go. I will wake him up. Popping this strength potion early. Again, you don't need me to tell you this because I mentioned it earlier already, but the real problem right here as the Silent is that we have very, very little offensive punch. So I'm taking a lot of damage on the front end of this fight. Hoping, and actually we got him pretty low, thankfully, but hoping, that we're able to, kill him before he really starts doing absurdly bad damage to us. We'll play a blur here. We're only taking 8 damage then. We need like 3 attacks here, I think, still. Well, that's not going to happen, but we should take no damage, or at least very little. Yeah, we're only taking 5, which is not bad. And hopefully we draw enough attacks on this turn to get the job done. We also have until next turn to do it. Sure, well, we got 11 block. We're actually... I kind of thought we would be more screwed than we are. We came out of that not terribly. And really, I mean, Bottled Flame... I guess you look at it with Neutralize. And at least it's like you start with a little bit of guaranteed block. Basically, this is unattack plus enemies start weak. Is that very good? No, not really. We'll roll over 5 block here just because I don't want to attack on a turn in which we're weak anyway. Try this. Draw. Survivor, please. Nope. Get rid of this. We shouldn't get rid of that defend just in case. Use backflip. I choose to take 0 damage because we got a long, long way to go here. We're really actually hoping for a regen potion, to be honest. We need some means to generate more HP for the future here. Okay, so you should be dead. I'm actually surprised how well this is going early on here, but still a little spotty. Draw and discard is tempting, but I actually think Piercing Wail is really useful. Kunai also, now we're starting to get basically like a dex run going here. So instead of having to pay 2 to take no damage, we can just play 3 attacks like so. I mean, we could have also neutralized them, I guess. And then do 1. We could actually kill him, but I don't think I'd suggest that on this turn. Hopefully you attack and you don't next turn. Wasn't how it was supposed to go. But still, I think you Piercing Wail. Do you dump a discard? No, let's dump a strike and do it like that. Just ride out the vulnerability. I really think if we play, yeah, why not? I think if we play intelligently, there's no reason we can't at least make it to the boss on this floor. Everything else is maybe a little bit more up in the air, but just trying to use my noggin here. You know what? I like backstab, even though it seems a little, maybe over-aggressive. I like it because we now have 3 attacks by default that cost 0, which means we start every combat with +1 dex. If we can get the Shuriken, now we're starting to think about the idea that, you know, we can start each combat with +1 strength and +1 dex and chances for growth in the future. But for now, it's working out relatively well. Just tipping the scales a little bit in our favor to get us there. I'm going to take Dagger Spray for the slightest bit of crowd control, and I'm immediately happy we got it. And so you guys are doing 22 damage. Obviously, that's bad. If I could just kill one of you, 21, 19, 17, you're our most likely... Well, actually, yeah, why not do it like this? Seems good to me. So gain dex, 12 damage on the field. Whoops. Alright. It's a run where I always call out a run that looks worse than it is. This is the opposite scenario. This is a run... Sorry, I always call out runs that look better than they are, I should say, or are worse than they look. I know that could not have been more confusing, really, because I said the opposite of what I meant at first. Wait, who's our boss? I think we definitely want the Fear Potion. We don't discard that much, so I think we'll actually skip one for once. This is a run that's the opposite. It looks like we should be in trouble, but because of the way our parameters work right now, it's not that bad. Masterful Stab, Neutralize. We'd like Neutralize, I think. We do not want Masterful Stab. We definitely want After Image. Okay, a second Dagger Spray is not that bad. A second Neutralize is not that bad, and we just chose not to take Regret, obviously, because there's no advantage to doing so. Well, I still feel pretty okay about this. Yeah. So far, at least. I definitely would not suggest that we got, like, a huge chance of success in our future, but, I mean, for the first floor, this hasn't gone too badly. We want to make sure we're doing, like, maximum attacks here. Could have made him vulnerable, absolutely. Do we do it on this turn? I don't know, it's going to leave some pretty strong units around. Let me see, so it would do 12 damage, you would be at 84, 75, 69. I think we should actually do it. I've been messing up, I've been galaxy braining, 66, sorry. I've been galaxy braining myself fighting this guy for way too long. And in case you're not familiar with the modern parlance of our times, galaxy brain is essentially, it's almost a pejorative. It's a 4-letter word. It means you think you're smart, but actually you're making idiotic decisions. And if that doesn't describe some of my Slay the Spire decisions, dude, I don't know what does. So I've been like, well, maybe we'll just let him hit us for 95% of our available HP, and then later we'll kill him even faster, you know? Just actually makes no sense. Now this time we're taking no damage. You would be at 37. You would not split, but you'd be very close to splitting for the next time. So basically I just hate that we're weak right now, but if we can start drawing, indeed, some dagger sprays, I think I'll be a happy man. So we'll hit you and probably dump this blur and dagger spray and smack you again. Kunai, don't get me wrong. It's good. It's not nearly as good as the Shuriken, in my opinion. I think we want to get you close to splitting as well. Just so that dagger sprays can start to whittle you. But dude, this weakness is driving me insane. And the frailty's not helping, to be fair. Please. Being able to get extra decks, not on demand, but at least frequently, is good. What is less good is being permanently weakened and frailed so that, you know, it takes us 6 attacks to kill each of these enemies. Be a great turn to draw some dagger sprays, let me tell you that much. But, okay. Slow your roll. Permanently destatted here. Unenemy is dead. You're doing 30 damage. Whatever, I gotta start to kill you, as annoying as it is. So dagger spray will not kill you, but 2 strikes will not kill you either, so I think we have to do it like that. Alright, we should live, but this has been a bit of a tedious boss fight. Just try to remember, I guess, that maybe, you know, any other boss fight would have been easier. This is not necessarily a condemnation of the run at the present moment, just because it's not going so hot right now. And that was actually a huge turn for us. So, I don't know what we need as far as, like, rare cards, as far as rare cards and relics go. Energy's always useful, but I can't help but feel that maybe something else would be a little bit more prudent right now. Let's see. I mean, Burst Blur? It's pretty solid. 1,000 cuts is very expensive, but we do play a lot of zero-cost stuff. I guess maybe we'll try 1,000 cuts, which with an upgrade becomes twice as good. And, you know, I'll take Sozu. But I really, really do like Cursed Key as well. So I want to hit early shops. Alright. This is usually the moment of truth for any run. We figure out if we actually, like, stand a chance of success. You're doing 10 damage. We actually, all we needed to do was draw another attack there, and then we wouldn't have had to play 2 defends. We could have just played our blur, but oh well. 14 damage, so we're basically set when it comes to that. Don't really want to discard the curse because it keeps it in our deck, but whatever. Okay, 12 damage. Draw an attack, please. Ayy. We still need some means to gain strength, because, like, this is not my ideal world right now. We'll probably use our block potion here, so that we can play 1,000 cuts and get ahead. I also wouldn't mind getting bandage up. At least we're getting something every time we play a card now, you know? Like, when we play our defense, we're slowly whittling him down. So I think that that's important for the way that this deck works. And honestly, like, there's a lot of cards in this game. I'm not sure if you noticed, but for a long time in my life, I was very bad at Slay the Spire, and I'm only now atoning for my earlier mistakes. Feels good to finally admit it. But I'm starting to realize that, you know, it's not... And I never really assumed that it was, I guess, but I'm starting to realize it was not like developer incompetence that led to things like 1,000 cuts costing 2 when it feels to me, at least at first blush, like it's kind of a garbage card. What it is in actuality is that they know more than I do, as hard as it is to admit, and, you know, there are archetypes and shells in which that actually makes a lot of sense and is potentially worth more than I've given it credit for, you know? And I'm realizing that 1,000 cuts is potentially very useful for us here. Not on this fight specifically. No. But in general. Might be able to snag this guy before he gets away. It depends on what we draw. 20 damage? Not gonna happen. Goodbye, my friend. Enjoy the spoils of war. Congrats on getting out while the getting was good. I don't like the idea of expensive cards in this deck. But Poison Stab, as much as I like it, I think our deck is too thick with cards that are unrelated to poison to help us. I will take Quick Slash just to get draw and hopefully keep like the engine of our deck running. I'll tell you one thing. You know what we definitely do not want to encounter is the Time Lord as our final boss. I would describe that situation as extremely uncool. I think we have to do this. I really wanted to play more attacks, but, you know, we get to roll over 1 block, so what am I complaining about? Well, it's a very, very bad turn. This guy dies best against, Ugh. He dies best against, like, poison. We actually got lucky we drew as much defense as we did, even though it still sucked. You know, we're still going to neutralize him, but at least we're no longer weak after this turn. We really got to hit him hard. The other thing is, I'm not sure if you noticed, but again, this deck still, like, kind of blows as far as, like, damage goes. Like, once we lose our backstabs, which happens pretty freaking quickly, we should only need... No, we need to play 2 if we want to take 0 damage, which I do. Once we lose our backstabs, we're still in, like, pretty weak territory. We have very little offensive gain. 18 damage again. It would be 15. If I hit you twice, this will do 10. This is the slowest fight I've ever seen. We're gonna get him. In fact, he's gonna be 2 away. It's a testament to Kunai that we're not even, like, as scared as we are about this run. We're not really worried about death immediately. Dude, straight up, I know choke can work here too. Give me these backstabs, turn 1. I will not lose all of my gold. I have the magic number. I don't really want to fight here, but I know we're going to get a relic, so there's something about it that strikes my fancy. So we have 33 damage. I mean, we could play everything in our hand. The only question is, who do we play it against? I actually maybe want to kill this guy. I think I do not mind losing decks. Because this way, he takes away 2 decks, I think. Which is not good. But is also a little bit who cares, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we started 2 decks up because of our attacks anyway. So, I mean, they've got to die. 14 damage. 8 plus 6 sounds good to me. Bear, no, etc., etc. 23 damage. I like, he's got a new animation, you see that? I know that you might be watching this and going, why aren't you playing 1,000 cuts? Well, trust me, I would like to. Even with 4 energy, before it's upgraded, it's a little expensive. Principal problem for me right now is I'm like, man, when are we going to even get the chance to upgrade this, knowing we have to rest as much as we do? I do think Noxious, even though we're not running a poison deck, is very valuable. We need Shuriken. It's an unbelievable help. And I actually think we go straight into Apotheosis for exact change. And we'll rest. Apotheosis doesn't mean that we don't need to upgrade our cards, but it means that we can wait a little bit longer. Just give me the 99 gold. I don't want to give you my HP right now. Shuriken gives us an engine to grow. And actually, as a result, 10 damage. I can kill this guy in 1 hit. I just gotta hit... I gotta do like this and this. Then we'll neutralize you. Then backstab kills you in 1. And that's pretty much what we want from an ideal first turn. We're not going to have it in every opportunity because, you know, sometimes we're going to have enemies that are stronger and maybe even choose to attack us, as ridiculous as it might sound. So we have to play Apotheosis, I think. Following that, we've only got 10 damage. Let's start with Backflip. I'm not killing anything in 1 hit, so I think I'll just Blur, because I know this guy's probably going to go Buck Wild on his next turn. Yeah, 42 damage. I mean, that's severe. We will neutralize him. That takes 12 damage off the field immediately. If we can kill this guy by doing this. I would have liked to have gotten Noxious out there, but you know, this keeps us alive, and I find that being alive is very conducive to helping you win runs in this game, so... we should play our cards, at least the defense, because it does do 1 extra damage. This is more what we're looking for. Okay, so we got a Blade Dance by itself is 21 damage, which means this guy is actually already dead. We get extra strength out of it. Neutralize does 8 damage by itself. That's hilarious. So we'll do it like that. We'll draw. Draw and discard. I mean, Blur for 12 free block on the next turn is nice, but he's dead next turn. So this is I mean, you see the seam, I think. I don't know if it's as good as our last run was. In fact, I would say it definitely isn't. I don't think we need footwork here. Like our last Ironclad run, I mean. Strawberry, at least helpful for short-term survival. Orichalcum, dude, we're getting a bunch of free relics. That's extremely lucky. Now, I'm actually like, should we go on this guy? If I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, so let's be honest. We got 6 plus 33, 39 damage, plus another 15, 54 damage. Plus we gain some strength. Dude, I think we go for this guy. He gets so annoying. All we needed was to draw 1 attack. I knew we were gaining strength as well, but it was just, if I'm being honest, too much work to factor it in. It's going to be tough to punch through that. Like, falling 1 short is sadly, like, really bad here. That being said, do you play 1,000 cuts here? I don't think you do. I think you just hit the crap out of him, enjoy your stats. Should have dagger sprayed earlier. Now we actually definitely do. And which means we should have done it earlier, but again, doing the math, I don't want to do the math. I want to go to gym class. Now, we only have a 28 card deck. It's not particularly thick. Which is good. In fact, it's extremely great. It is tempting to fight that elite, but... I do think an after image is highly, highly desirable. And I'm almost like, at this point, toss me another blur. We'll rest again. And just being alive is a gift right now, but I'm starting to believe. Just don't forget you have Orichalcum. That's an important part of this. Dude, being able to play 1,000 cuts early, huge. Okay, I wish that we could get value out of Piercing Wail there, but it is what it is. Afterimage has to be played. Nobody's gonna die here. So you're doing 29 damage. I honestly still think we just go for broke on attacks to get our dex and strength up, but this could be a... I mean, it's gonna be a nasty turn. I'm under no illusion, by the way, like... This run is not... we can't play 3 cards, so we have to do this. This run is not really in, like, an amazing spot where we're just gonna walk into a boss fight and be like, oh, I play this, this, and this, and I win, you know? It ain't like that. Now, just gotta think about this. Definitely we hit you. We're gonna play 2 more cards. Rolling over a blur seems like our best option, in my opinion. It doesn't really matter who we hit. That way, I mean, we're gonna be debuffed. We're gonna have 29 block going into our next turn. What we really... oh, thank you. What we really want to do is draw basically a blur per turn. It's not gonna happen. We are potentially lethal here, so be smart. You know you're gonna want to play blur and defend. If we play blur and defend, we get 18. That takes us to 60, and we live with 3. But first, I don't think we live unless we play blur. Defend. Takes us to 63. I think you just play defend again. I mean, it's pretty useful. We got more block because of the after images, which I didn't factor in, but... So we're only taking, pardon me, 26 damage. And by only, I mean... Okay, so this guy's dead if we play 2 cards. That seems pretty likely. Since you're doing 0, just need to get to 25 block. We'll do things the very sensible and sane way. Like that. Okay, we're taking 1 damage. We know that this one is very easy to kill. Next turn, basically any attack will do it. In fact, we don't even need an attack. This is pretty much the dream we're looking for. We certainly want to play blur. And I'm starting to actually believe that we'll at least make it to the 3rd floor. I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in this run going all the way. But to have made it this far on a run where we were a little bit... I mean, it was kind of sketchy right from the get-go, at least by what I could tell. Feels pretty good. Okay, so you're saying there's a chance. Envenom is really, really useful. It's just expensive. But this is, admittedly, pretty much what we're going for. I guess we would like to automatically rest for extra when we enter a rest site. I do understand the value of removing cards. I'm not really, in my opinion, in a position to be making enemies right now and trying new things. So we always want to, like, rest, elite, rest is our perfect combination here. So I don't know. I mean, we're alive. Now, I think against these guys, obviously we want to play all of our attacks, but I think we want to kill just 1, just to minimize like our damage for the next setup. Keep in mind, for the next turn, I should say. Setup isn't really a very descriptive term. I have to play this. Not my favorite turn here. Keep in mind, we do have Orichalcum. So at least, especially early when 1 defend will give us 5 or 6, it's actually definitely going to be better to play 0 defend. I mean, Blur means we take 1, Piercing Wail means we take 0, or we take 3. No, 2, so... You're seeing the problem with this run, and also the what I hope is the inevitable solution with this run as well. What's the problem with the run? all of our enabling powers are expensive, and as a result, they take... You know, we typically tend to take damage getting them out there. What's the solution? I honestly think it's Apotheosis. You know, the faster we get that Apotheosis out there, the happier we are. Okay, this is pretty solid. We need to do 37 minus 3, so we need to do 34 damage to you on this turn. Highly plausible, especially when every card gives us 1 damage. Not 2, sadly, but easy money. Started bad, though. I think we definitely want more Blade Dances. We also need this innate afterimage, like, as soon as possible. You may take one of my defends. We have some other defends. But we absolutely 1000% want afterimage, like, as soon as possible. And we have a pretty thick deck, so it's not getting drawn all the time. We're only taking 2 damage turn 1. That's nothing. It's not enough to be concerned about, at least. Well, we want to play the maximum number of cards. This would do it. We do take 1 damage. Starting to not get concerned, but now I'm at the point where, like, yeah, if we keep taking a little chip damage every turn, it'll matter. Cloak and Dagger is extremely good. And remember, we're basically assuming that we're going to get Apotheosis at some point. We don't have to upgrade Cloak and Dagger with the same kind of, like, fervor that we used to. So Noxious, I think, is super important to make sure this guy dies before things get too absurd. Just think about it. Probably did overkill you more than we had to there. Now the poison's starting to work. 11 damage. So, I mean, just take 0. Let the poison start to get its job done. 22 damage is no joke, but, you know, neither is Piercing Wail when you have no protection. So 6 damage. Very little concern on that one. I mean, with Orichalcum, we might as well attack. Blur would have rolled over a little bit, but... We don't really want a Dagger Spray, so we actually prefer to backflip first. I hate it, but we'll do it this way. We just don't want to play either of our Dagger Sprays, because they would lead to us taking 24 damage from this guy, so... If you'll forgive me. I apologize, by the way. I think I've been... surprisingly tactical on this run, and it's for a good reason. You know, there's been a necessity for us to be tactical. I can hit you once. There's been a real necessity for us to be tactical, because this run has never hit the Wombus, you know, so to speak. It's just kind of like playing... I mean, we have an archetype, but... It's not as strong as a lot of the runs we've had. We don't have Dead Branch, for example. Like, I think we're just kind of... You know, I actually think we can afford to fight these guys. I think we're just kind of clinging to, you know, whatever semblance of life we got going on here. And it's working. But it might not work forever. Keep in mind, we're probably going to rest when we go to this campsite anyway. So I figured, you know what? Get a rare relic. And enjoy life. 14 damage. This guy's got to go first. We don't want to play Dagger Spray. It would only lead to us taking 8 damage, but I'd rather take 0 given the choice. I mean... How much damage are you doing now? 10? Okay, so we can definitely play Noxious. Defend. So 33 cards. We should heal for 12 passively when we go to our boss fight. Or sorry, when we go to our campfire. You need to get hit for 3. Okay. Okay. Alright. I think we got this pretty much handled. Doing a lot with not that many relics. I mean, to be fair, we got more relics than we thought we would get. Can't hit you. You know, one of those question marks just turned into, I think it was Orichalcum. I wouldn't necessarily say that's, you know, saved us a great deal so far, but it's definitely done something. And you should be dead next turn. Okay, dude, this went totally fine. We took like 3 damage. What do we care? Bird-faced urn. We do play powers. This is actually, I think it could be fairly useful sustain. And I do think bullet time, it makes sense. Again, we have expensive cards. 62. Dude, we might as well smith at this point. And having smithed, I do want to make after image innate. Okay, I'll start there. But I definitely want to make apotheosis cheap as well. I just think it's more mission critical to get that innate after image first. And then just go to town. I do think Envenom's important, but I think for this fight, maybe it's more important to not worry about that so much. So we got a very sort of similar situation. We're going to get hit, and we're going to get hit quite a lot, actually. You have to start here. And we'll see. Like, I would like to play 1,000 cuts, or at least do what I can. You're doing 34 damage. That's no good. Less burns in the deck, please. Okay, so we've gotten through the hard part of the fight. Like, we are still going to take 2 damage on this, but, you know, everything else should be fine at this point, except for the fact that our deck is, like, 75% burns. Now I'm actually very concerned. We're on 10 HP. We're dead. Maybe? I think we're dead. Wow, that's a bummer, dude. We should have had them ice cold. The orb walkers! I really believed. Still, I think for a first run of the day, that was a pretty good warm-up. That hurts, though. For now... What's the post-mortem there? Dude, I don't know. Maybe we should have upgraded Apotheosis instead. It might be minor, but... Maybe we should have gotten that Envenom or 1,000 cuts out earlier. I don't know. I really thought we had it. We were doing pretty well there. For now, though, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I still had a positive time on that run. First time on Ascension 15? 14 is the silent? 14, I think. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. It helps me out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. And follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion. Be notified when I go live in the future. It's almost every day at this point. Don't miss any of that hot live content. Twitch.tv/Northernlion. I'll see you next time. See ya.